I'm joined here today by the one, the only Mike Rodriguez to take on Marcin Prachnio at, of course, UFC Vegas. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for asking. How does it feel to hear those words, though, that you finally got a fight lined up and that we're going to see you again finally in 2020?
Oh man, feels good. Feels good. Feels really good.
Yeah, what's been going on for you these past few months, though? I know we haven't seen you in a while. I'm sure some things have been holding you back, obviously, with COVID and stuff. What's kind of been going on for you?
So I've been busy with the COVID situation. Obviously, my kids, they're love them to death, but they're a pain in the ass. um, and just being a family man, man. Just take care of them. And I was streaming a lot over the whole COVID break. A lot of streaming, and I was able to recover a bunch of injuries, so I feel good.
And so you mentioned the streaming a little bit. Did you feel like you got more followers, more people following you? Because we know with fighters, it's important that people tend to forget about you as soon as you don't fight for a little bit. Do you feel
Yeah.
like you built up a good fan base?
Yeah, oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, big time. It's been pretty cool because I'm not like, I guess you say like one of them streamers was like, oh man, like super high energy and shit. I'm like, nah, man,
Yeah.
we just chill. We just talk about real stuff. It's real low key. So yeah, I started gaining a fan base. I haven't been streaming now because of camp. I just don't
Right.
have the energy for it after I'm done with my training sessions and stuff. But yeah, man, actually, I might do that tomorrow since I'm not gonna be training. It's my rest day tomorrow. So yeah,
There we go. That's perfect. Listen, I'm not going to pretend to be a video game guy, but
it's
I, of
okay.
course, do have to ask this question. But what kind of games are you playing?
Rainbow Six Siege is the main game I play, and then I dabble with like a bunch of other games. I like more like because I'm a competitor, PvP stuff. Anything that's PvP, I'm usually all on board for it.
There we go. Listen, there is one game I wanted to ask you about for a
Yeah,
very long time now. After your fight in, I believe it was 2018 or something like that, the big thing you told the media is, I haven't been able to play Red Dead Redemption 2 because of this training camp and stuff. And I thought, man, if I get Mike Roger, I have to get an update. So here we are, years later, the
yeah,
moment's been simmering. How was that game for you?
dude, I loved it. It was really good.
Right?
Monumental. It's like a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Highly recommend it to anybody and everyone around the world. Like, if you haven't beat that game, you're totally missing out. It's epic. It's really good.
Now, are you one of the guys that got really attached to Arthur, really attached to your horse? Just I know a lot of people got really
Yeah,
attached to everyone.
yeah. It's hard not to fall in love with the
Right.
character. The character's so great. Uh, yeah, it's hard, but it was really good. I loved it again. Actually, I think I might replay it. Honestly,
How did you play it the first time? Are you one of those people that I guess you have the good and the bad thing, right? Did you play it like honestly, like saying hello to everyone to get the points, or were you
I
running over people in town?
no, no, no. So the way I play like those choice games and stuff, I go off based off my choice. What would I make?
Right.
Like things that I'll do. So that's how I played it. Of course, like there's some shit that I was like, hey, gotta be a bad guy. And there's some stuff I'm like, I can't. So like I try to play it as much as, but I end up getting the neutral ending because I was
Oh
pretty
yeah.
much neutral. But yeah, but it was crazy. But I do want to play it again. I guess playing it like just being a complete asshole in the game is like really
Right.
fun. So I'm gonna try to play it that way.
That's how I played it. I was running over people. If someone tried to confront me in the streets, like, look, I got guns. I'm not a fighter. Like,
Yeah,
took care of all that stuff.
yeah,
No, but it was a really good game. The big thing though is at the end, if you bonded with your horse, like I guess your Arthur takes his hat off and says goodbye to his horse. Did you get that, or are you one of those
what?
guys that?
No, I didn't
Yeah.
know
So
that. I didn't
yeah,
know
so
that.
if you bond with your horse, like when the horses die, he like gets off and he's like, "You've been a good girl or boy or whichever one it is," and then he continues. Yeah, you missed out, man.
Oh shoot, I never knew that. Nah, I never
Yeah,
knew that.
see, it gets emotional, but yeah, even more so.
You know what? I swapped my horse out when I got towards the end, so that could have been it. Because I found out how to get the really fast horse. What was
Yeah.
the albino, the white in the snow?
Oh yeah. The
Yeah, I
Arabian.
found
Yeah,
out how
yeah,
to
yeah,
get him, so I grabbed him really quick. So
yeah.
I had a regular horse, then I grabbed him, and that's when I was like trying to create bond with that horse and stuff. So yeah, I probably didn't get it. Oh man, now I would definitely want to play it again.
Yeah, it's like there we go. Give you the little nuggets that when you replay, you have all this stuff. But listen, move. I'm sure people are watching. Like, all right, well, you're talking to a fighter. We want fights. So let's talk about fights a little bit. How
All
did
right,
this
let's
fight
do
come
it.
together with Marcin? Like, do you have your management tell you about it? Like, were you really itching for a fight? Like, how did this kind of come together?
So they had gave us a fight offer before, and we just didn't take it because it was like I think it was like one of the first cards, like when they started doing them in Florida, and we didn't take it because of I wasn't training. One, I wasn't training. Two, I was like really busy. The wife was doing overnights and stuff because she's a nurse and she's like on the front line of all the stuff. So
Right.
we couldn't find the time to make a camp. Then everything started getting smoother. Now everything's starting to lower down. Everything's starting to be really cooler. So now I had time to get a camp. Then they were like, "Oh, how about this fight?" And I was like, "Swing it, give it to me. I'll take the fucking fight. I'll take it. Give it to me." Because I had the fire on me. I wanted to fight. Watching all these other guys fight was just like, "What? Come on, I need part of this."
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the unfortunate thing is you just missed out on Fight Island. Like we're talking like 3 weeks. Like would you
Yeah.
have wanted to be on Fight Island or was that just a little bit too much?
Yeah, I would like to give it a try to go. I always like traveling and always like seeing other cultures. So I have no problem with that. But yeah, from what I was told, there's not much you could really do because when you
Right.
got there, anyways, because of the whole COVID thing. But yeah,
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of fighters they were like, "Well, I'm in Abu Dhabi, sitting in my room doing nothing. So if you want to do an interview, it's like, damn, fight week stuff with a fighter. Like that's how you know they're really bored. Like they got nothing going on."
yeah, from what I was told, there's not shit you can do.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
and that's the whole point too, right? Like there's the island, like you can go downstairs or back upstairs. Like that was kind of the point.
yeah, and I just heard it also really, really uncomfortably hot there. Like
Yeah.
it's so hot, it was like unbearable. So a lot of people are like, "Fuck that! I'm not trying to go outside," which I get it, but
Well, I imagine with the heat and the weight cutting and everything, like at some point you got a lot of irritated fighters like in one place. Like I assume that's what's got to happen at that point.
hmm yeah, it's got that. I'm pretty sure that's what happens.
Well, there we go. But listen, you're going to be fighting it in Vegas, so it should be hot. But we're not talking Abu Dhabi temperatures. But
Oof.
listen, looking at your opponent, I mean, what are your thoughts on your opponent as you head into this one?
Excuse me, sorry, there was a little yawn there. He's good. He's game. He has a extensive striking background. He has like he fought karate at the highest level possible. He's game. He definitely shows up to win. He definitely shows up to fight, and he definitely is trying to win the fight. So I think it's going to be a burner, man. It's going to be a beef because I ain't no fucking slouch. He ain't beating me. So I'm coming out there to take him out. I'm pretty sure he's going to try to do the same. So it's definitely going to be a war for sure.
And so was this the right fight for your return? Because we know that if you've been out a while, I'm sure you're picturing some kind of fight that you want next. I mean, even get your name back out there, coming off the loss and everything. Was this the right opponent for you?
Yeah, this is a good opponent for me. Yeah, I agree. I think so. Really, I just think it's like a perfect time, and we're both kind of in the same place and everything. So it's awesome.
And so, listen, the big thing about UFC Apex is that you guys have the smaller cage, right? Everyone's trying to figure out, does that have an effect on the fights? Are you guys preparing specifically for that? Is that something you think about, or are you just about to find out just like everybody else?
No, so I do a lot of my sparring in a small cage, so I'm kind of used to it. Honestly, the big cage is like it's so much room for
Yeah.
activities, like But yeah, small cage, I got no problem with it. I fought my whole career, in small cages. So
Well, with that being said, the big debate was, does it favor a wrestler? Does it favor a striker? For you yourself, what do you think? Or is it just a matter of it just all depends on your style?
I don't. That's a good question. I honestly would say it. It's kind of like one of the things that who goes off first. I don't think it doesn't matter. Like I don't think it's the striker or fighter because there's a lot of things that a striker can do to use, obviously neutralize the wrestling, and there's a lot of things the wrestling can do to stop neutralize the grappling. So I don't think it's a black or white type of thing. It's very gray. I think it's just whoever goes off first.
There we go. Listen, what does this fight do for your career at this point? Like you go out there, you get the highlight reel finish. Like, is this the opportunity to call somebody out? I assume the Twitch and the streaming family starts the numbers start going up. I mean, what does this kind of do for you in your career?
Yeah, that's exactly what it does for me. it still keeps me in the UFC as well as it is
Right.
a boost um, for like my following and my fan base. But in terms of like calling people out, I'm nowhere near to be calling anybody out. Like I'm just trying to keep my job, man.
Yeah. So listen, speaking of Twitch though, what's your goal with that? Are you one of those guys trying to be like Max Holloway, Mighty Mouse, or even Rampage? You're making money and stuff, or is it just I like to do this fun thing and we might as well do it, market yourself?
The thing with me is that I like interacting with my fans, so that's what's the more important thing to me. Is like it's a nice, cool place where my fans can interact with me. They have like 2 or 3 hours of my time to just interact, kick it with me. You know what I mean? They're not doing anything. There's no like there's no like um yeah, there's no pressure, no nothing on it. It's my time that I'm giving to my fan base, and they can interact with me. It's a one-on-one session. It's great. It's awesome. I love it. I like it a lot.
So So with that, it sounds like the interaction is better than like on social media. Because I heard like fighters they have a bunch of messages like in their DM, guys trying to fight them, telling them they suck. Like, is it a more wholesome interaction?
For me, no, I don't get none of that shit. I
Yeah,
don't get like that's one thing I don't maybe because of who I am as a type of person or what. But even the guys that get the hate, they're not even bad guys either. So I don't know. But I don't get no heat towards me, man. It's always like positive love, energy. And if I do get some heat, that's why they got a block button. Block their fucking
yeah.
ass. Keep moving. Like it's not that big of a deal. But anybody else, it's usually more love than anything. Or like people are looking for like advice and looking for
Yeah.
like motivation and think they're like, oh, I really want to get into MMA, but I don't know. And then they just want that extra reinsurance and stuff, things of that nature. But all that haterade shit and all that like keyboard shit, nah, not over here. I just block that shit, keep moving.
There you go. It sounds good. I'm sure there's a lot of fighters that would hear that and be very envious. Like, man, we gotta have that following like Mike.
Yeah.
But listen, one last question though, kind of an obvious one. You're gonna hear it a million times if you haven't already. But how do you see
Yeah.
this fight playing out?
I believe I'm going to touch him first round, take him out of there in the first, for sure.
All right, well, there we go. Simple enough. Listen, thank you so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it. We look forward to watching this fight.
Excuse
It's
me.
going to be a good one.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me.